Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about why men do the right things with the wrong women. And it's also vice versa. Sometimes you can do the wrong things with the right women, and that's often where we get into a bit of trouble sometimes, right? So why do men do the right things with the wrong women? So what this usually means is that, have you ever had the experience basically where there's a woman that really really likes you but you're not into her? You don't like her, perhaps you're not attracted to her, perhaps you only see her as a sister, or things like that, right? Where you don't have that romantic connection with them but they have it with you. Why is it that those women become really obsessed with you, or they really want to be with you, and you find it really difficult to shake them? It's because the way that you are treating her is the way that you should be actually treating the women that you do like, right? Because if you often find that, oh yeah, the women that I don't want me, and the ones that I want don't want me, it's because you're doing the right things with the wrong women, and you're treating them in a way that basically suggests that you're not too bothered about them, right? And that's why they become more and more attracted to you and sometimes even obsessed with you, and they won't leave you alone. It's because you're doing the right things to get her to pursue you. Because if you think about this, like if you're dealing with a woman that you don't really care about, that you're not really attracted to, what tends to happen is you don't really reply to their messages, or if you, when you do, it's a long time in between. You're not affected by their actions basically, and you remain unaffected by her, okay? But when you meet a woman that you really like, you become insecure, you become needy, you're desperate to try and get her attention, you want her attention badly. You really want her to like you, you really want her to be in love with you, and you become like really needy and insecure about it, okay? And that's why you often chase away the women that you really really like, right? And why the women that you don't like become obsessed with you, because you need to switch this around. You've got to treat the women that you do like as if they're the ones that you don't like, right? So that means you got to not be as affected by them emotionally, or at least you can't let on how much you like them. You can't let on how much you really really desire them, okay? You have to be a little bit more blasé about it, especially in the beginning, especially within those first 1 to 2 months of dating a new woman. You have to be a little bit blasé about it. And I mean, when I say blasé, I don't mean that you shouldn't care about her. I don't mean that you should ignore her completely. I don't mean that you're mean or horrible to her, and brushing her off basically. You need to find that sweet spot where you are happy to hear from her, you're happy to go out with her, you're still, initiating some contact with her to arrange dates, but you're not affected basically by her response to you. So basically, let's say if one weekend she doesn't really want to see you, if there's a woman that you really like, then you can't let that affect you. You've still got to get on with your life. You can't become butthurt or resentful about it, or really, upset and angry with her. You have to just allow her to be, right? If she's not interested that weekend, if she's showing less interest than she was this week than she was last week, then you just got to let it happen. Because sometimes, with women is that their emotions can change quite quickly, especially when it comes to men that they're dating and things like that. Sometimes they can be really interested, and other times they kind of cool off a bit. It doesn't mean that she's like becomes not interested in you. It just means that sometimes she may have a cool off period where she's not quite as intense about you. Perhaps she's seen you a lot. Let's say you spent the whole week together last week, or you was messaging each other a lot. This week, perhaps she just needs a little bit of a break from you, right? Which is fine, because usually when she's had the break from you, that's when she starts to come back to you. So basically, when you notice a woman that you like is starting to lose interest, or you feel like she's withdrawing away from you, or she's not as interested as she was before, you've got to do less. Because one of the mistakes that a lot of men make is when they are dealing with a woman that they really, really like, is when she starts to lose interest, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's just because she's not feeling well that week and she just can't be bothered to, go out and see you. Maybe she can't be bothered to message you as much because she's not feeling good, right? when a woman does that, often men get really scared and afraid that they're losing her, even if they're not losing her, right? And what they do is they try and make things correct again. They try and make things feel better for them, because they're feeling insecure. They want to feel good. They want to feel reassured that she's still interested. So they actually start messaging her more, trying to contact her more, trying to get her to meet up with them, more, maybe even going through her friends to see if there's something up, see if there's something going on, right? That men become needy and desperate when the women that they like start to withdraw, okay? Which is usually makes things a lot worse. So let's say a woman was just only having a bad week. She wasn't really, didn't really feel like replying as often as she once was, or perhaps she just didn't really want to see you that week, yeah? And then suddenly you start bombarding her with messages, asking her what's up, asking her what's wrong, and she's just like, oh my god, this guy won't leave me alone. Whereas if you had backed off, that wouldn't have happened. Perhaps she would have, noticed that you'd backed off, noticed that you'd given her space, and then she would have started to chase you and pursue you. But because you became needy and desperate, unfortunately, you could actually really ruin a connection that could have actually continued going on, because she just got sick of you, right? So, for example, imagine that you're having an off week, right? And let's say you was hanging out with a couple of your friends last week, and you're not really up to doing this much this week. Let's say you're not feeling well. Let's say you got a stomach bug, or you got like the flu, and you're just really not interested in messaging too much. All you want to do is just have some peace, relaxing, just do some bit of downtime, just have some time to yourself. And your friends just keep on bombarding you with messages, asking you why you're not replying, asking you why you're not hanging out with them. Do you still want to be friends with them because they haven't heard from you in a couple of days, right? It makes you not want to hang out with them anymore. It makes you like, oh my god, just go away, just leave me alone. I just want 5 minutes to myself, okay? And if you act like that with women, where you're messaging them too much because they've backed off, that's how they're going to feel about you. They're going to feel like, oh my god, just give me 5 minutes to myself. I just need a bit of downtime. I don't really want to be messaging you right now. Yeah, I like you. Yeah, I'm interested in you, but I just need some space, right? So often we can really mess up things with women if we become insecure when they sort of withdraw a little bit, okay? Which is why men tend to do the right things with the wrong women, right? Because if you're dealing with a woman that you don't like, you tend to do the right things. You tend to not message as much. You tend to give them a lot of space, right? Because that's how it works. That's how the dynamic works. That's how, because you're not as needy towards them. So basically, in a nutshell, you have to treat the women that you do like as if you don't like them that much, okay? Okay, but you may be thinking, yeah, well, when it comes to a woman that I don't like, I tell her that I don't like her, or I don't reply to her, or something like that. So I'm not saying you should do that with the women that you do like. Obviously, you need to, not ignore women, because if you ignore a woman that you do like, then, she's not, she's just eventually just going to get sick of you and sick of trying to have a connection with you. And she'll just move on with her life. Right, so obviously you still got to ask a woman out on dates, you still got to give her the invitation, but what you really need to do as well is don't be messaging her 24/7, right? Give her some time to cool off, so let's say you go on a date with a woman, leave it a few days before you ask her out again, and if she does message you, keep the conversation short. You don't have to have a long message exchange and things like that, because it just makes things very boring, and it puts women off you eventually over time, okay? So the best time to really get to know someone is in person, face to face, right? And avoid messaging too much. And most of the time, if you tell a woman, look, hey, I'm not really interested in the messaging scene, I kind of use it as like a way to, like, we can arrange to hang out and stuff. I'm not really that interested in getting to know you over text. I'd rather get to know you in person. And a woman that has her head screwed on right and is in a Fruit Loop and obsessed with social media won't mind that, okay? So actually, by messaging less and, only kind of using your phone as a ways to meet up with her, and arranging things, basically, what you're doing is you are weeding out the good women from the weird women that are obsessed with social media and things like that, because it's really showing you the woman's true colors. Okay, and you've got to be okay with that. You've got to be okay with letting some women go. Okay, because sometimes that may be what you find when you're dating. There's some women will be naturally drawn to you. Some women will kind of be half in and half out, a bit of hot and cold, and other women will just not be interested in you at all. But the idea is then to not be bothered by any of those circumstances. No matter what, you're still going to be the same guy, you're still going to be doing the same things, you're still going to be enjoying your life. And what a woman does on a certain day doesn't matter that much to you. If she's interested, great. If she's not, that's also great. You've got to really feel that and start living by that truth in order to get the right women more interested in you. Okay? So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christinelovers.com and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.